right. Well, Intel-wise, guys, we're at a good place. I will say this. Most banks, redemption centers have really sort of closed down their apertures. They're not really talking to us. Occasionally we get a message here and a message there. So tonight is a day or a night where we don't have a whole lot to share, but I'll come at it from a perspective of where the world is in terms of the countries that have their currencies ready to be asset-backed if they're not already. Because remember, the BRICS nations, we've got 30, 35 countries as part of that so far, if not more, that are asset-backed. We, the United States, has an asset-backed currency we know is the USN. We are part of the BRICS nations. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa were the original 5 countries to make up the BRICS. And now you've got quite a few other countries that have glommed on and are considered asset-backed, primarily precious metals, obviously primarily gold. Now, we are in that position ourselves, and we are printing our new currency in 3 locations, and they're going hard at it. We've had some currency already printed, but the latest currency for us, we had the hundreds and the 50s already in the redemption centers and major tier 1 banks, where they did unwrap those or unseal them as shrink wrapped and have those kind of ready to go in the drawers, in the teller drawers, in the vaults. But there are the other denominations of our currency, 20s, 10s, and 5s. I can't speak to the ones, but I know 20s, 10s, and 5s are new, and those were unwrapped on Sunday, I believe, in the redemption centers, and they were also unwrapped and put into drawers. So we're going to have the new USN, or as I call it, United States Treasury note currency, our new folding money. We'll have access to that at the redemption center to get a few thousand. They don't want us to have more than, say, $6,500 of that. I don't know that we need to take more than that. I would probably take less at the time of the redemption and get that. But they will issue us the new currency, not a bundle of old fiat currency and new, like we were misinformed before. We're going to get the new stuff, okay, which is cool. But it should be introduced in the next couple of days at Tier 1 banks. Not every bank will get it immediately right away, but most banks will get it, and they'll introduce it at the bank level, and we'll have it at the redemption center. So what is happening globally is the countries who are Basel IV compliant, B-A-S-E-L, pronounced Basel, as in Basel, Switzerland. If you're Basel IV compliant and your banks are Basel IV compliant, that's when your currency can get revalued, and those currencies can be put out, and those currencies can be declared as asset-backed or precious metals-backed. For the most part, that's the case. So that is happening now, so that their so-called deadline to do that is, guess what, a week from today, the 31st of January. So they have one more week to get their act together and have all those countries that are ready. Not every country will be ready to go and is ready, but those that are Basel IV compliant will be ready to go. And as a result, Iraq, for example, which is one of those currencies that's already there, has been there. We've held them back. They've held us back. Then we've held them back. And now they're all set and ready to go. Their currency will actually be traded on Sunday. Their first business day is Sunday, this coming Sunday. Okay? So that's going to take place for Iraq. Good for us. The other thing that's going to happen on Sunday is the Forex is going to be open for trading all of these. Now, the Forex doesn't trade every currency. I'm sure there's some screens that will trade some of the smaller countries' currencies. Usually, you've got about 8 currencies, maybe 10, that are prominent enough to be traded in pairs on the Forex. Okay, so that's going to take place also starting Sunday. Now, you say, well, gee, do we have to wait until Sunday to get started? And the answer I'm getting is no. We don't have to wait until Sunday. What we do is we have our bond paymaster information telling us that bondholders should receive their notifications by email tomorrow morning around 7 a.m. Eastern Time, tomorrow. Now, some of them could wake up to it. Some of them could get a little later. But overall, the bondholders are supposed to have notifications go out around 7 a.m. tomorrow. Now, we've talked about a shotgun start. We've talked about a modified shotgun start. I believe we're in the modified category where we could go with our notifications up to 12 hours after the bondholders get their notifications. It might be sooner. It could be at the same time, but our contact is getting from Geneva, Switzerland, that we should get it tomorrow sometime. We don't know when. I'm not going to predict the time. I'm just going to say if it comes in tomorrow, at any time we get notified, we are off to the races. We're good to go. We'll set our appointments and we'll start our exchanges possibly tomorrow, but I'm going to say most likely Thursday. And that's okay. That's good. I think any of us would take that right now. Can we get this done this week? Yes, I believe we can. And I'm looking forward to that. I really am. So, Iraq is good to go, and they have a rate that is commensurate or higher than what Dr. Sinon al-Shabibi predicted 10 years ago at the International Chamber of Commerce meeting in Washington, D.C., of which our friend Blue Star asked him the all-important question as to what he believed the Iraqi dinar could support as a rate. And he gave us that rate. I've talked to you guys about it for years on the big call. We are at or above that rate now. Let's see if there's anything else that's really urgent. I think everything went swimmingly in Davos, another town, a ski resort in Switzerland. And when I say swimmingly, I think it went well to the benefit of those who are aware of what was actually going on and what would be the end result of that meeting. So that was positive. Let's see, is there anything? You know, guys, when I get down to the point where we're looking at when are we going to get notified and when are we going to start exchanges, when I get down to that point, there's not a whole lot else that seems to matter to me. That's what we're gunning for. That's what we're looking for. Many of you guys, even today, are about rate and date, rate and date, rate and date. Well, maybe this isn't too different than that. You know, I'm looking at notifications and start of exchanges. Notifications, toll-free number, make the phone call, set the appointment. Don't be more than 10 minutes early to the appointment. and then boom, get in there, do your 5 to 8 minute presentation if you're a Zim holder about what it is you want to do to help heal humanity, what you want to bring to regenerate humanity, regenerate all of these different projects we've talked about, regenerative farming, regenerative architecture, regenerative housing, you name it. You could almost throw regenerative in place of sustainable, because sustainable just means status quo, just sustaining something for the long term. But we want to change things and renew things and regenerate things like farming, agriculture. That's going to be so cool. Those of you guys that are into that and will help us with regenerative agriculture on the Veterans Retreat Networks, yes, and also in many, if not all, of our Rebuild America sites, whether it's a community out in the country, whether it's a small town, whether it's inner city, and we do some inner city gardens, we do some food domes, vermiponics, which is aquaponics using worms to help feed the fish and create the worm castings for fertilizer, all of that stuff, man. It's just really, really going to be good.